Back, steps up, delivers downfield, intercepted! Jamari Sharp!
And the Hoosiers of Indiana are your national champions in football.
We were still alive on the final drive. The Hurricanes had managed to survive. Then in our own stadium we just fell flat. Still it can't be denied that the U is back. Oh. It's a bitch that we lost, but the U's still back. Can't be argued, it's a matter of fact. You can bitch all you want, we're still better than you. And everyone but the Hoosiers from IU. Oh.
Come on, Carson, going deep. Here we
These guys won 13 games this year.
The U still back.
Got to the playoffs for the first time in Miami history.
The U still back.
Won the Cotton Bowl.
The U still back.
Won the Fiesta Bowl.
The U still back.
They're the best thing that's happened to Miami in over 2 decades.
Mike, you should know that I would have won back in just a few minutes all of those UM fans because the rant was written. The rant was going to make its return, and it was written, and it was going to slay, and now it is dead, never to be seen because an interception got thrown at the end. Brad Williams is going to be here in a second, and I wanted to wonder with Greg Cody because I think I can say this since football became popular. I don't believe there has ever been a Miami Dolphin head coaching hire with less fanfare than what it is that I saw yesterday because of the timing of it. You're talking about the biggest football game in 20, 25 years played in Miami, and the Dolphins are announcing their head coach then. I don't think that it matters, but it is weird that you usually want the hope of, and now we got the new answer, and it just was buried yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't voluntary. The Dolphins didn't want it that way. I was speaking with a Dolphin official in the press box last night, and what happened was, first of all, they had to fulfill the Rooney Rule. They had to interview 2 minority candidates.
Had they done that?
They hadn't done it until the last one was at like 4 p.m. yesterday. Okay, so they were late doing that. And before they did that, they couldn't hire anyone else.
The Hafley news came out like right after that, I think,
exactly.
Right?
And what else happened was somebody who didn't get the job leaked the news that it seemed like Hafley was going to get the job. Okay, so when it was then leaked to the media, then all the, Schefter and all these reports come out, and then the Dolphins, they have no choice but to confirm it at 8:12 p.m. Like in the middle of the first quarter, they're confirming. So it was a weird circumstance that forced their hand last night.
I didn't even see that the Dolphins actually confirmed it, which would make sense because, I was watching the football game.
Yeah, so were most people. So it did not work out the way they wanted. Believe me, they would have liked to have announced it and introduced him later in the week, for sure.
It kind of came off like a fart, right? Because my wife got the alert on ESPN, and she's like, Dolphins hire Jeff Halsey. And I'm like, she's like, is that a coach? I'm like, yeah, he's a Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. She's like, okay, I lost interest. But like, everybody's asking me like, who is this guy? And I'm like, trying to explain the nuance of, he's a first-time head coach, defensive coordinator. The Packers defense has been kind of good. They got Micah Parsons, but it's like nobody really cares.
It's loco, Dan, like you and Diana were talking about a little while ago, that the thing that seems to carry the day is who's good at PR, who's good in an interview. Belichick is not that. And more recently, Liam Cohen was a laughingstock in his introductory press conference, and so was Nick Sirianni a couple of years ago. So, yeah, it's loco that would be the case, but you made the most important part, what I thought was a striking point yesterday, which is if they're going after a defensive coordinator in Miami, there's a more obvious name.
I mean, Chris Shula, to me, you hire that, you immediately create something that would have made a noise even during the championship game.
It would have been a more popular hire. I'm not sure it would have been a better hire, because we can't know how good Hafley's
Well,
going to be.
we can't know, but all things being equal, as I think they are with young defensive coordinator whiz kids, like in terms of us not knowing how to do the analysis on the Mike McDonalds of the world before they get hired, where I only hear Mina Kimes and no one else celebrating that. Like, as far as those things go, you absolutely win the offseason if you do the popular thing of going with the defensive coordinator who has a name that people have heard of.
Yeah, I also think it's fair to note Chris Shula has had fewer head coach interviews than Hafley. I mean, there's a reason for that. Hafley's a little bit older, I believe, a little bit more experienced at what he's doing, and there's a reason the Dolphins liked him. My only hesitation with this hire is that I don't trust the Dolphins. It's that nobody can know whether Hafley's going to be good or not, but you have almost 20 years of track record that the Dolphins aren't very good at hiring a head coach.
I got to meet him at ACC Media Days a few years ago.
Nice.
Here's my take. Certified sweetie pie. Super nice guy. Not very tall.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Ooh. Short king.
I need
Yeah.
I need a
Gotta
Robert
have a
Saleh
tall
walking.
coach.
I need a guy about 6'5.5".
You can't tell on Zoom.
Although Joe Philbin was tall.
Yeah, that's true.
Cam Cameron was as well.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, Brad.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard
Oh,
Show.
shit.
Is Hafley a certified cutie pie?
Sweetie
pie. Where'd you get
Sorry.
cutie
They're
pie
very
from?
Transition.
different.
Sorry, sweetie pie. Speaking of short, last time Brad Williams was on with us, what? You were mad last time. You were upset last time you were on with us.
Well, yeah, because you said keep it short. Now I'm about to come on with you again to finally talk about a meaningful NFL team. You know, an NFL team that plays football in January and into February. And then you guys are like, yeah, short guys. Don't trust them. Hate short guys. They can't coach. They can't be a leader of men. What do you know, Tony? You threw invisible footballs. That's your bona fides, right?
And if
there.
I would have thrown real ones, I would have made the team, buddy.
Brad.
I'm sorry. Is there not a pro athlete that you could tell that you could be better than in studio right now?
No.
Is there no one you could tell that you could back down? Holy God.
Brad.
I can't win on this show. It's just I try to come on, I try to bring a little flavor, and then you guys you guys with the short bit. If that joke was any deader, it'd be related to Dan.
Brad, you have a new podcast. Jesus Christ, you're gonna
That's not
wanna,
that's not the podcast.
You're gonna want to have to select the right microphone for when you're recording.
Yeah.
All right. This is take it from an industry vet.
All right, don't be short with him.
Again, what is this not? Is it not picking up? It's got a green light on it. It's working.
Yeah.
You just
gotta
sound
select the right
tinny.
one.
You sound
Select
tinny.
the
You
right
sound
one. I
like
think
you're
I
in
can
a
zoom.
submarine where, you know. we're-
Check out Height and
Audio.
Babble. New podcast Brad started.
I thought it was Jesus Christ. I thought the name of the podcast was Jesus Christ.
That's Mark
away
Norman's.
from the way Mike Ryan described it.
Jesus Christ.
I think you should have Mark Norman on the show to have him talk about sports. I think that would be better than Tony
Hey.
down the Miami game.
You are our Broncos correspondent. You've finally been elevated. Congratulations on that. Stidham hasn't started a game in 750 days and has started all of 4 games his entire life. How do you feel about the good news, bad news of you beat the Bills, but now you've got a problem in it that you're not going to win the Super Bowl? There's no circumstance under which you're going to win the Super Bowl.
So when the Broncos beat the Bills, I immediately had to go on stage in Greeley, Colorado, and the news had not broken yet, literally, about Bo Nix's ankle. So I walk on stage in Greeley, Colorado, 1,800 people. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's happy. And then when I got off stage, I literally had my tour manager and my opening act on the side of the stage going, "You should look at your phone." And I thought someone died. I literally thought, like, oh, God, what happened to my wife? What happened to my mother? What happened to my kid? And then I get off, and it's much worse than that.
So explain to us the level of crestfallen. My guess is you've probably not had something that felt exactly like that, where you've won the game against Josh Allen in dramatic and spectacular fashion, and then that is the worst news you can get, correct? There's no worse news than that.
That is the worst news. The only other way it could have been worse is if they said, like, well, we've gone back, and since Bo Nix broke his ankle, now we're going to make the Bills win so they can move on, so there can be a team with a good quarterback. But I have hope in Stiddy. I have hope in Jared Stidham. He's been in that
stop it.
years. He's been in the system for 3 years. He's the highest paid backup quarterback in the league. There's a reason why Sean Payton likes him. He is not Bo Nix. Let's be honest. He is not Bo Nix. But I believe he is a comparable backup. And this is very similar to the 2015 Denver Broncos that won the Super Bowl because Peyton Manning had the plantar fasciitis, and we had to win some games with Brock Osweiler that year to actually move on and get to the playoffs. So eerily similar, deep defensive-centered team, not focused so much on the quarterback. So it's not great news, but I have some hope.
Put it on the poll, please. Do you believe in Stiddy? Because I really am having a hard time finding a comp for what happened with Sean Payton, where he's coming at the press conference. His players have left. He doesn't want them to learn from someone other than him that Bo Nix is out, so he feels the need to have the press conference that wrecks Brad Williams' night as soon as he gets off stage.
Can we have Tim Tebow do a little Mr. Miyagi over Bo Nix's ankle? Just something. Give me a couple of throws. I don't know. It was truly heartbreaking, and I don't have a comp for it either, Dan. I don't know anyone that's gone that high to that low that quickly.
I remember Magic Johnson one time. They made it to the finals, and he had torn his hamstring, and so he couldn't play in the finals, and then they got swept. But Bo Nix isn't that, obviously. But if you're enthused about the Broncos, your chances of winning the Super Bowl are now over. Like, you can have your hope about this weekend in a home game. You're not beating the NFC team with this as your quarterback.
Well, at minimum, Brad, I think that Jared Stidham, sorry for the pessimism, if you were to win this game, I do think Jared Stidham stands as the worst starting quarterback in the Super Bowl era. And I'm sincerely, David Woodley, the late David Woodley from LSU in Super Bowl 17. Trent Dilfer is off and volunteered. He's the wrong answer. Rex Grossman deserved. Caleb Haney, the comp would be Caleb Haney would have had to start that Super Bowl 45 against Pittsburgh 15 or so years ago because Jay Cutler tore his knee, and it would have been had B.J. Raji not pick sixth Caleb Haney towards the end of that game, it would have been Roethlisberger and company versus Caleb Haney. Yikes. I feel deprived as a football fan, too. Drake versus Bo would have been great.
Rambling. That was good info, though.
I agree.
He said Super Bowl 17.
Bad
Gotta
call.
get out.
Nah, bad call.
Caleb Haney.
The people are fighting back.
They
want me to stay. Dave should stay. Dave should.
No, you still got to go.
You can be hopeful, but my guess is you're faking it.
I mean, we've seen this before with Jeff Hostetler. He won a Super Bowl with the Giants. We've seen it with Nick Foles beating the Patriots. Nick Foles had a great tweet, by the way, about how the Patriots notoriously come up short against backup quarterbacks. So I love that by Nick Foles. So we've seen it before. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. But, yeah, hope is not.
Wait a minute. You're good with Foles.
Allowed to say that.
You're good with Foles saying come up short, but I say it and you get mad at me.
Well, he's not talking to me. I'm not standing next to Nick Foles, and he's holding me up like a prop. He's not doing that, Dan Le Batard. You have me on your show, presumably for my great football analysis, not for my microphone, but for my great football analysis, and then you immediately go to short jokes. It's ridiculous. And we've broken bread together, Dan Le Batard. You've come out to Los Angeles. I met your wife. Your wife is impossibly more attractive than you. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you guys have gotten two $50 million deals from DraftKings and she can't afford LASIK surgery. I don't get this. But at the same time, he does not have me right next to him telling me the short joke. You have me, and you go right to the short joke. Lame comedy.
Hey, Brad, does your beanie have a horse's mane on the back?
Yes, and it's fabulous.
It is fabulous.
That's amazing. I kept seeing orange hair in the back. I was like, I know he doesn't have orange hair. What's going on back there?
This is my announcement that I am part of the Brony community. I'm now joining the Bronies.
You knew he didn't have orange hair, Tony? You knew that?
I knew you didn't have orange hair, buddy.
For Brad Williams tour dates, go to bradwilliamscomedy.com. Zaz, my dad, and myself saw his show a couple weeks ago. Great show.
Fantastic.
He's also got a new podcast heightened babble. Check it out.
Good seeing you, Brad. Thank you for making the time. Always appreciate you enjoying insulting us and being insulted by us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Go.
Go Broncos.
Shut 'em down,
we did shut him down because everybody wants the Broncos now to go away. Like
it would be a nightmare if they won.
Nobody wants that in the Super Bowl anymore.
What do you mean you want the Broncos to go away? You want the Patriots? You want the Patriots?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
I want a quarterback that's not Stidham.
You want Bill Simmons to just be talking about how this is the greatest Boston team of all time?
All right, you know
fair.
what?
He
makes good
That's
points.
fair.
That is a good
Yeah, but
point.
Stidham, guys, let's not lose
All right,
the
I'm
plot
back.
here.
He's
Let's not lose the plot here.
Jr. I'm telling you, everybody, listen up, Cousin Sal. That's what's going on. Listen, I just want to say. That was my.
We
got it.
I just wanted to quickly say that I think, and I don't bring this up because Brad Williams is on. I just think that was small of you, Dan, to send me off like that after what happened last night. I understand you're bitter, but small.
My guy, what is this? What is this betrayal? Is Lucy gonna get me next? Lucy, do you have any short jokes?
No, the energy in here is really negative right now, and I just need. There's a lot going on.
See you later, Brad. It's always nice seeing you. Thank you for making the time, sir. Greg Cody, I have not heard enough from you today as the legendary sports columnist of the Miami Herald after. I'm trying to think history of Miami sports. Most debilitating losses because the University of Miami now has 2 of these, and there's not going to ever be anything worse than you have the best roster of all time and you're losing to Ohio State. You think you've won, and there are fireworks in the sky, and then there's a penalty flag on the field. That happened a couple of times last night, by the way, where there was a flag on the field all of a sudden to sort of neuter what had been enthusiasm. Your thoughts on historically where to put this in the history of South Florida, where we wake up this morning and you could feel a city a bit hungover, a bit sad from wanting to believe, wanting to hope, daring to hope, and then coming up, forgive the expression, that short.
I think it's probably one of the 1 or 2 most heartbreaking defeats, and part of the reason is that had waited so long. Miami won its 5 national titles in an 18-year frame. It's been 24 years since, so that puts in perspective how long the wait has been. I think an analogy I would use is Dan Marino's one and only Super Bowl in '84, where they got their ass kicked by San Francisco. We didn't know at the time he'd never go back to another Super Bowl, but that was crushing because Marino was at the top of his game. He was going to be the guy who made the Dolphins a Super Bowl champion for the first time since the early 70s under Shula, and it didn't happen. And that was, at the time, very heartbreaking.
Okay, so that's an interesting comp, right? Because I do believe it would have hurt less if Miami last night had lost by 4 touchdowns. It hurts less than that because you're right there. And I know that the noise the next day would have been unpleasant. The game would have been less interesting. You wouldn't have been interested in the second half at all, and that was an all-time second half. But there's something cruel about that, right?
Yes.
Losing when you're that close, when there are pieces happening at the end that keep giving you this hope, and you're watching the last few seconds thinking that the highest-paid quarterback in the sport, somebody with 7 years of experience, is going to have his faculties about him, isn't going to have his ears ringing from a hit he took, a late hit that he took, or an excessive hit that he took, and isn't right on the last throw of the game according to himself, by his own words.
Yeah, and if they lose a lopsided game, it's easier to rationalize the loss. It's easier to give Indiana credit. It's easier to say it wasn't our time. But the way they lost last night, that's going to haunt Mario forever, I guarantee you.
Maybe not viscerally true. In fact, retroactively, isn't the worst loss in Miami sports history the loss in the Orange Bowl to the Patriots in front of Super Bowl 20? Marino and company in the Orange Bowl had just beaten those Bears. So on the fast track in the Superdome, it stands that they would have had a great shot at taking them down.
But it wasn't for the championship. It wasn't for everything with a minute left. Like I'm really having a hard time outside of the Ohio State Fiesta Bowl, which Obviously,
I
if
live
you've
in
got
Houston.
if you've got fire, oh, that's a good one. Like that was
JJ
in the
Now,
Barea.
granted, first round.
It's first round, but you
Yeah.
had it's your
Number one
it's your
seed.
rival. You know the team's going to be broken up. That the ball bouncing on the rim. There's a certain cruelty to the heartbreak by being that
Yeah.
close. And there were so many plays yesterday that the result is an inch, right? A back shoulder throw that's just in bounds. A couple of 3rd and 1s. Malachi Tony, before the blocked punt, he got to 4th and 1. He needed another yard to make that not a blocked punt. There were 7 things in that game last night. If they go a different way, we're having a different conversation today.
And all the things worked out for Indiana, and that's been their forte all season, which is why they had one of the greatest seasons of all time. I would say, like,
Greatest.
been doing this for 20 years, and the only other time that I felt like today, which was like I don't want to go to work and talk to people and have them go at me, was like when the Heat lost to the Mavericks.
JJ Barea and them boys.
Because we were so, like...
It was us against the world.
Yeah, we were the Heat show there.
But they were never really in that game 6. You never felt it that night, you know.
I mean,
But in the series, though.
D-Wade had that shot go off the back iron there, and we blew Game 5. Like, they were shadow boxing, and just like it was a shell-shocking experience, and it was super embarrassing. This wasn't so embarrassing because Miami had a great season.
It wasn't embarrassing at all.
No, but
It
hurts.
still stings, yeah.
I don't want to be here.
It can sting, though, but I think I have it right when I say there's zero shame in it. I don't even know if today there is anywhere that I could tune in, even into the most negative parts of Miami, and hear people that we need to blame in situations that feel helpless, that hurt. There's usually just a great need to blame. I don't think you can fairly blame much of anything that the Hurricanes did last night. You're quibbling with hair splitting. Like, there's no shame in losing to that team that way.
I mean, we gave up a punt block for a touchdown when the opposing team was in safe coverage.
Okay,
they
but
weren't going for a block.
And they had a false
whipped.
start on 2nd and 1 when they could have won the game by quarterback sneaking it, won the season.
Yeah, but we lost by 6, and that was 7.
I think it would be cruel, literally cruel, to blame the Hurricanes as the main emotion coming out of this, to blame Carson Beck even. I think they had a great season, and I think that should be prioritized. If I were a Canes fan right now, I would feel really good. I would feel a trust in Mario Cristobal to work the portal again, and I would feel like the U was back. You know, you don't have to win everything to be back. If you get to the college football playoff for the first time and you plow through 3 good teams to reach the championship
Cristobal
game,
fixed it.
He fixed it.
It's the second worst loss in Canes football history. It's not going to top the Fiesta Bowl in 2002. It's the second worst Canes loss in their football program's history. It's worse than any loss from the
Worse
Marlins.
than George Teague?
Well, that's the other one that I would throw up there. But yeah,
so.
I
What
I
about
think this
Vinny
was
versus
worse.
Penn State?
That
I
was
would think
bad,
that
too.
would be
That
one or
one's a
two.
good one.
In the fatigue.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
See, that one's an excellent one. That one's excellent for all the same reasons, except for in that game, everyone knew Miami was better. Jimmy Johnson knew Miami was better. Jimmy Johnson still haunted by that game because he wouldn't stop throwing the football, and it was his fault.
All right, so maybe
That's
it's
why
not the
you're
second
sick.
worst.
But that's why you're sick about it. When you're supposed to win and you don't, that to me seems like it would hurt.
That's a
much
good
worse.
one.
Yeah, it's worse than any Marlins loss. It's worse than any Panthers loss. I think it's worse than any Dolphins loss. I do. The Heat have a couple that you throw in that range too. So it ranks pretty high among our sports history.
Is it worse than the Dolphins losing to Kellen Winslow Sr.'s Chargers?
What was that divisional round?
In the Orange Bowl when they convert the hook and lateral,
Yeah.
and like Kellen Winslow blocks a field goal. Is it worse than? Do you remember? We're going back a ways here.
Yeah, I was there. Yep.
Is it worse than that?
I don't think it is, because that's not a championship game. See, I put the stakes of last night in a whole different category. That's why a first-round Heat playoff loss that you alluded to earlier, I don't put in that category. Last night was for everything. Last night was for history. And to be that close and denied, I think is a whole different level than anything that precedes it.
If it matters, Dan, the Dolphins lose in Cincinnati in the Freezer Bowl, same as the pretty boys from SoCal, the Chargers did the following week against Ken Anderson and company.
Was it the divisional round that the Dolphins lost that game?
It was. It was in that crazy year, the strike year where you had the super playoffs or whatever they called them. Very strange,
Yeah,
but
82.
entertaining.
Yeah, that was the Woodley Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah.
A.J. Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
Time now for Amin's weekend observations.
It is time for
Amin
to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Amin.
Weekend Observations is brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with a light. Weekend Observations is also brought to you by letting Amin know that Weekend Observations will be moved to another day the morning of. Got up early on the rare day off because my kids didn't have school, only to find out about, 20 minutes before, hey, by the way, we're punting it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hard
Shout
times.
out to the
Busy
Lord's
show
time
yesterday.
zone.
Hard times, Daddy.
I know. Who could have predicted it would be a busy show yesterday? I wonder if we could have saw this coming from, maybe more than 20 minutes before I was supposed to go on.
Do you have the right microphone selected?
I don't know.
Happy MLK Day.
Happy MLK Day indeed. Now Jeremy's got me in my feelings. Is my microphone selected?
You sound better right now. You sound a little bit better. Not much. Dave, we'll have to come back on this
All right, here
super
we go.
playoffs. Oh, that's much better. That's
man,
much
so
better.
clean.
Dan, full disclosure, I watched nothing but NBA basketball all night until halftime of Heat versus Warriors. Then I flipped on the Canes game just in time to see the game-sealing drive. Chris Cody, how close were we to the prophecy?
Dude.
Canes down 6, marching down the field with less than a minute to go. I sat there saying, holy shit, it's going to happen. They're going to score to tie the game, and Mario's going to go for 2. God,
Roy would have said that.
so close. This is all Dan's fault. Broncos Bills, a thriller. How about that Mims Jr. catch? You guys didn't even talk about that yesterday. Now he knows what housewives and girlfriends all over the world feel when they roll over and get poked in the back. Mims, this is why I'm hot.
Hey.
Zaz looks like a line cook at a Waffle House in the Redlands. That joke was from yesterday.
That's pretty
Bandana.
good. That's great.
Amin's been down to the Redlands?
Yeah, the Redlands. Yeah. Specific kind of Waffle House. You don't get this in Metro Miami. Josh Allen, channeling his inner Patrick Mahomes with that scoop throw under pressure. Now all he needs is an annoying wife and an even more annoying brother, and he will have come for all of Mahomes' stuff. Well, that in a Super Bowl, I guess. Nothing says NFL playoffs like Jason Statham.
Stidham.
No, Jason Statham. I don't know if you saw the
Jared.
The intros. Jason Statham was doing
Oh, my
intros
bad.
for-
I'm sorry.
Beekeeper.
James Mulvaney.
Thank
My
you.
bad.
Misconnection. You were the guy in all white who locked eyes with me. I was Carson Beck with 44 seconds to go. Niners should have forfeited immediately after the Shaheed kickoff return for a touchdown. Wasted everybody's time. Congrats to the NFL in coming out and taking a stance for genocide. Eagerly awaiting their Pay the Teachers Even Less campaign. You guys see that? They fined my boy because he had Stop Genocide on his face. That's a finable offense. Stopping genocide.
Personal message.
Dave Damashek was born to be a Muppet. AFCON is over.
What in hell? What the hell? What the hell just happened here?
My
What
point
gives?
exactly. Tell me he's not a Muppet. The way he talks, the way he moves around, the voice.
What's going on here?
Let me see your ass.
I get on an airplane and fly across this country to have a nice conversation with people who I thought were enjoyable, and now this.
Hey, Lucy.
Hey.
AFCON is over. Gonna miss my dad screaming at people to pass the ball. Congrats to Senegal. Big time win on hostile ground. I don't know if you guys saw this. A lot of shenanigans going on in Morocco. Sadio Mane, class act. R.I.P. to Danny Benavente. Very funny local comedian who passed away recently. You will be missed. Actor, activist, filmmaker Jesse Williams has a new documentary on Hulu about how Dr. Martin Luther King was an avid basketball player. He's out there getting buckets with a shirt and tie on, wearing hard bottoms. Now I want AI to simulate a massive one-on-one tournament of historical figures. Can you imagine MLK crossing up Trump?
Oh, Abe Lincoln would be great in the post.
Oh, yeah, especially with that hat.
Or how about Obama hitting Fidel Castro with the step back? Then he finds Bernie Sanders on the wing for the wetter. Tony, would you play against MLK one-on-one?
5'7". I mean, I'm dominating MLK in the post. Sorry to say that after MLK Day, but I'm just saying. Give me a foot taller almost.
John Morant, 24-13 in London. Greatest infomercial possible. Shout out to Jerry from the tire shop at my local Costco. You're a real one.
Yeah.
Tonight's a big game. You guys know how I know tonight's a big game?
How's that?
Because Master Tesfazion is in studio. Oh, wait, that's from yesterday also. All right. Some of these are prearranged. Where's new material? New material. Oh, here we go. Shout out to the cameraman who put a Bella Danger on the screen in the middle of the fourth quarter comeback. No doubt a discerning gentleman who's a fan of great titles like Pure Taboo, Kink University, and Anal Destruction 4. Anyone a fan of Lesbian Hospital Affairs? That's a good one, too.
Who is she?
Yeah, who is she? I don't know.
Zaz was asking this morning.
Who is she?
Greg?
Cinephobe, episode 296, Dead Man on Campus. Starring Mark Paul Gosselaar, a.k.a. Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. There she is.
Who is
Allison Hannigan, a.k.a. One Time in Band Camp from American Pie. And a young Jason Segel, miscast as a jock with an anger problem. Did you guys have that rumor in college that if your roommate dies or commits suicide, you get a 4.0? No? Just
I'm
me.
sorry,
Got
I was
it.
laughing because Greg Cody just said at the mic, after Chris told him who that was. So, like, what just
The star
happened there was my own
Yeah,
private
the star
show.
of Lesbian Hospital Affairs.
I'm
Come
an
on, guys.
innocent.
Keep up. Anyone delighted that Jimmy Butler tore his ACL is going straight to hell?
I thought you looked.
Yeah,
looking
Mike
at
Ryan. You, not me.
Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Those are the weekend observations.
Going to hell. I've been in hell.
Thank you, Amin. Nice seeing you. I'm sorry that we did the poor planning thing and insulted you yesterday.
I was insulted today, minutes ago even.
Pablo Pascal as a Muppet is with us here in the corner.
Kermit.
Who's Pablo Pascal?
Pedro, excuse me. Football America. Football America.
The Statham thing threw me.
Is Monday and Friday. This super playoffs that you were speaking of before confused a whole lot of people here. I don't know what the super playoffs are.
There was a strike in '82, and so they expanded the playoffs to 8 teams a conference, and which was wild stuff. And so just looking at the game, I'm sure you don't care about the matchup.
So it's just what we have now, basically.
They call it the Super Bowl. They called it the Super Bowl tournament. I don't know why they attached that name to it, but they did.
Does Greg Cody have any recollection of this as
I
our
do.
local historian?
We had a few instances on our recent episode where Dave was in, and Dave just goes into like the old, like, you remember this Miami game? And my dad is just nodding along, and you can tell that he's not really following the specifics.
Well, for you guys, noteworthy is that the Dolphins got the rematch against the Chargers after the Orange Bowl, the Battle of the Bavarian Kickers.
Right.
Uwe von Schamann losing out to Rolf Benerschka in 81, but in 82, you guys housed
He's
them.
making this up, right?
No.
In 82, they had there was a strike. They had replacement players for much of the season. It was an 8-game season. The Dolphins' replacement quarterback was a guy named Kyle Mackey. and somehow they wound up going to the Super Bowl after an 8-game regular season.
Well, I'll tell you what it was.
lose.
You know, I think he had 5 career interceptions. A.J. Dewey had 3 in the rainstorm off of Dick Todd's right arm.
That's right. I think that was a 14-0
It's
win over
Richard
the
Todd.
Jets.
Richard
That's
Todd.
right.
No one called him Dick Todd. Also,
I just did.
I did.
Lewis, do me the favor, please, of just putting up before the end of the segment here Rolf Benershka, because he just mentioned Uwe von Schamann against Rolf Benershka. And the best fact that I've got for you on Rolf Benershka, who later went on to host Wheel of Fortune.
What? You beat me to it, Dan.
I'm not
I
kidding.
got a camera on
See
Lewis trying to
Lewis.
spell Benershka.
He's like, I can see his mouth. Like, Benershka.
But was
5 seconds.
Was Sajak on strike? Like, how did Rolf Benershka become Wheel of Fortune host?
He outdid
close,
Aaron
we're close.
Rodgers.
There he is.
Happy New Year, everybody. 2026 is already getting off to an incredible start because you want to know how I rang in the new year? It was with a bunch of friends in a Dallas hotel lobby bar ordering a bunch of Miller Lights because that's how you do it. That's how you make special memories. Miller Lite has been by my side at many special football memories this year, and hopefully we get to write a few more memories with Miller Lite. Some of my most legendary moments have started that exact same way. A buddy's house, a lobby bar, a game, no big plan. And then you crack open a Miller Lite, you take a sip, and you look around, and you immediately recognize that you made the right call. You're locked into the game, the conversation, the moment, not thinking about what you're drinking. Miller Lite just fits. Clean finish, refreshing, brewed for taste with simple ingredients like malted barley, and at 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, it never weighs you down. Legendary moments start with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
You haven't been tested. Our minds, bodies, and spirits have been in hell since Halloween. You're walking into an asylum.
Dan Le Batard, tell me the big game that a Mario Cristobal coach team has not shown up for since he's been at Miami. I double dog dare you.
I think they're actually going to be shocked at how not home gamey this is going to feel for Indiana. They thought that they were going to fly into this town because no one on my plane is a Miami fan. It's crazy. And they're going to be hit in the mouth by not just the football team, but by the crowd.
The same folks picking you have been pouring dirt on our grave for 2.5 months. We're still standing.
Miami's going to average at least 4 yards a rush. Miami matches up really well here. I think Miami's going to go on 14-play drives. I think Miami's going to lean on these guys. They present a matchup problem that they haven't really encountered, and I think we're going to see a team wear out over the course of the game. I think styles make fights, and this is a really good matchup, and it's going to be a difficult one for Indiana, I think. I think Indiana's going to know right away they're in for a fight, and I think Miami wins. Go Canes.
We're forged in fire and been fighting for our lives longer than you've mattered. See you in a week. Spot the goddamn ball.
All right, I stand by it. I will be beating it. The number 6. Go Canes!
How do I get put in the parade of gas bags just reading a quote from Mike Ryan? None of those were my words. None of them.
You said it.
It's unfair. Jeremy, you were secretly delighted last night, weren't you?
Secretly? Midway through the second quarter, he's like, I'm going to get going on the montage.
Greg, do you have a back in my day? It's Tuesday.
No, I just didn't have time. I've been a little busy lately.
Can you guys get me as much Rolf Benershka information as you can here?
So again, hold on. Let's rewind this for a second. Who are these people?
They're
Ralph
kickers.
Benershka?
It's Uwe von Schamann and Rolf Benershka.
Uwe von Schamann.
Dig up a picture of Uwe von Schamann. He was quite a looker. That was a professional athlete. You have to keep in mind as you stare at his bald head.
Is it Ralph or Rolf?
Rolf.
Oh, hell yeah.
Rolf Schamann?
Rolf.
A sweetie
Let's
pie.
go.
Can you find out for me why he was hosting Wheel of Fortune? Was Pat Sajak on strike? What was happening that made Rolf Benershka be the host of Wheel of Fortune for a very brief period of time? It was a very strange thing, and I'd like as much information on this as you guys can get me.
Passion project.
Is everyone just going to look at me and no one's going to look this up? Because I'm sure it's not that hard to find whatever it is that that Rolf Benirschke, he didn't host for very long. Incidentally here.
Is that ROLFF?
I think it's just one
F.
Yeah. I was remiss in not mentioning this yesterday, so forgive me for this. Please.
He had ulcerative colitis.
Good for him.
Inspirational story.
Forgive me for not mentioning this yesterday. Stugotz returned to live radio yesterday, 3 to 5 Eastern, Fox Sports Radio on 270 affiliates. You should check out Stugotz and Company. He is building out an empire, and he's going back to his first love. I've expected him here for months. I don't know why he's not here. Hopefully we'll get some clarity on that soon. We do not have clarity. I expected him back this month. Tony, what did you find on Rolf Benirschke?
So in 1989, he hosted Wheel of Fortune for a short period while Pat Sajak left to do a version of his own late-night TV show. About 6 months' worth of Wheel of Fortune for Rolf Benirschke.
Can you guys imagine that? Like, I don't even know. I really don't know who I can put as a kicker in the modern game with a funnier name as the host, as the random host of Wheel of Fortune.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Than Rolf Benirschke.
Did people know he was a kicker? Like, oh, that guy, I know who he is.
No.
He's like, who's this guy?
No. If you think kickers are not famous now, I had an idea, actually. I didn't pose it yesterday, and I meant to. I really failed in this regard. Xavier Lucas was out for the first half of the game yesterday because of the targeting call in the previous game. And given the general anonymity of football players inside the uniform, I was actually thinking, what if they just put Xavier Lucas in another uniform and didn't
you're talking.
Didn't tell anybody that it was Xavier Lucas, and everybody like, holy shit, that guy's
who is that guy?
Just put him in a different uniform that no one has seen play all season and don't tell anybody.
Oregon's kicker is named Atticus Sappington.
Oh, that name I've heard. That guy's nice.
Yep.
Sappington, what a name.
Atticus.
I love that guy.
Lucy, the game last night, because one of the things that was most wrong, that we got most wrong around here is wasn't really a home game for Miami in terms of the feeling and the energy of the crowd, right?
Yeah, I feel like I said that I thought there would be a lot of Indiana fans. To me, we were up top, so we got to kind of see the overhead. It looked like 60-40. I did not expect this to be 50-50 was probably closer to what maybe I thought it would be, but I never expected it to feel like entirely Miami, because the thing with Indiana fans is, one, that they have a wealthy, alumni base. They have a top 10 business school. Also, they've never been here before, so why would you not splurge and get this, ticket? I thought it was a great crowd. I think it was interesting of walking around the stadium before the game. You could feel the difference in the sections. Where Miami, there was an intensity to it of just kind of knowing how much this game meant and whatever. And Indiana was like, we're just here and this is awesome and life is great. It was very different vibes.
Look at Tony back there. He will never forgive Roy Bellamy. I don't know if there's anything that we've taken from today more than Tony promising us that 60 years from now he will still not have arrived at forgiveness for Roy Bellamy.
Never. I said never. I will never forgive him. Look at that face, Dan. As the ball's in the air, and all of a sudden number 22 is intercepting it, and I'm just thinking, interception's coming here, and I'm like, I'm going to never forgive him.
Do you guys, I don't know if you find it funny, but do you find it interesting in the way that history forgets the details, that you may remember going forward the way that game ended, and it'll stick to Carson Beck forever, that he's got 6 losses in college football, and 4 of them he had the chance to win at the end and threw an interception. But the fact that very possibly he was concussed, and he's telling you, my ears were ringing, okay? I'm taking snaps, and it's not crowd noise, it's not anything else. The fact that history will forget that in that moment you've got a quarterback who's quite possibly impaired making a decision that ends up being the totally wrong decision to make. You do not throw to that receiver in double coverage in that spot. Marion took the blame for that, which I don't even know what he's doing there. Like, he said he never saw the ball and that he's supposed to go and contest the play. Quiet as it's kept, Puka Nacua got the Rams to advance because he played defense on a throw that would have been intercepted against Carolina.
He said that interception was all on him.
Marion said the interception was all on him, but how do you do this? We're famously bad at concussion talk. We become doctors and we do diagnoses. But when on 2nd and 15 you're getting the penalty that is showing you on video, oh, he's hit the back of his head there on the turf, and now he tells you his ears are ringing, that's an impaired quarterback. And I wonder whether those details matter at all. They don't, right?
They don't.
History forgets all of them.
Yeah, I think it matters in the immediacy if Carson Beck admits that he may have been woozy.
But he kind of did. He was woozy. He doesn't have to admit it. The way he got up made it obvious.
He was wobbly. And everybody was like, let's still roll with concussed Carson Beck.
Spoiler alert, if the Patriots go on to win the Super Bowl, it will be a footnote that they beat the backup of the Broncos to get to that Super Bowl.
Oh, well, let's talk about this for a second. It's not just merely that they've had the easiest schedule, which the Patriots did this year. Go look at just the history of good fortune here that they've had the entirety of the season, which is nuts. But all of that stuff gets forgotten. Nobody cares at the end if it's an imperfect measurement system. It doesn't matter.
I don't discount what Diana Rossini said on this show earlier today. I think that the Broncos now have more incentive than they did, if that's possible. I think the defense is good enough. I think New England is overrated enough based on their schedule. It wouldn't shock me in the least for Denver at home -5 or +5.5 to win that game outright.
I'd be pretty surprised. I mean, it would be shocking. It really would.
I don't think it would be.
It will definitely come up as a factor that I think is one of the most overrated things mentioned in sports, the advantage that Denver teams have at home. Oh, it's the thin air up there. Then why don't they all go undefeated? Why don't they all have remarkable home records? They don't. Spoiler alert once again.
I don't think that's how spoiler alerts work. I don't think that
you can't spoiler.
I was spoiling you looking up their career, their records to disprove my point. I am right. None of them went undefeated at home in any given season.
Aren't they like 8-1 at home? I could be wrong. That's off the top
I'm
of my
talking
head.
about the Nuggets and the Avs. You get my larger point.
In the what?
Sure.
Can I jump in real fast? If you think you've got the boldest take of the week, we want to bring that segment back. Prove it. Call 305-486-GOTS.
Also,
per Jeff Passan, the Miami Marlins are acquiring right-hander Bradley Blaylock from the Colorado Rockies for a minor league pitcher. Blaylock was DFA'd by the Rockies last week. This will give Miami additional pitching depth after trading away Edward Cabrera and Ryan Weathers.
I'm still confused by what happened on that phone call between Barkley and his bookie.
I know.